Good. See, Mary, you're trying to get out.
I know, I am.
Are you going
I'm
to
gonna introduce. Yeah, I'm gonna introduce them.
All right.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna introduce you.
Oh,
And
okay.
then leave. All right.
All right.
So, yeah, you can.
Yeah, Rick, you gotta be over here.
What's that? You gotta be over here.
Rick,
Oh, yeah, no, just jump in. We're all here. Yeah, there we go.
there we go.
Yeah. All right.
All right. I'm
All right.
Good.
Yes.
All right. So these are my two friends from Christ Church in Whitefish Bay, where I was a priest for 4.5 years. This is Rick Donner, and this is Mary Jones. And you are the wardens, yes?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So Mary's the senior warden, and Rick is the junior warden. And they, Christ Church is in the, I don't know if it's the middle, but in the process of doing a large-scale capital campaign to build a new part of the structure of the church, but then also renovate things, connect the building, the parish hall together with the worship area, and do a bunch of other things. And so I was there at the very beginning of that process, and the campaign part, the pledging part, has been wrapped up. So now they're the collection of the funds, but then also the design, which is pretty exciting. So here they are to talk about that.
It's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I don't
Yes,
know
nice to meet you.
across each other yet.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate that.
And if you want to hang in the orbit, so you can chime in on this.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
So that's one of the things we wanted to talk about. There are a lot of things going on at Christ Church right now that is kind of exciting for us. One is that we used to have a chairlift that died. And so we are in the midst of a building project, especially since a lot of we have several elderly now that have become unable to do stairs. So we're building a gathering area and putting in an elevator that will really serve the congregation, but also the community. That we want to be accessible to everybody and open that up. We also have a preschool in the basement, and that's been an issue, actually not for a child, but for a parent that wouldn't be able to attend because they can't do the stairs. So that's one of the exciting things that are going on. Another thing that's going on that's kind of exciting is that the vestry and Seth really wanted to get more involved in current issues and have the congregation open up those avenues. So we have a parishioner who's doing a lecture series to talk about race that meets once a week and presents that to the community and the congregation. This past Tuesday, we had an organization called PACE, and we provided a dinner, and they had a speaker that talked about how to talk to children about race. And they brought this woman in, and we had over 150 people from the area come in to attend to that. And another thing that Seth has really been working on is with Scott Stoner and the Living Compass, and they're starting to develop programs, and we've now just started a wellness committee, and that's in the process of trying to formulate what does the community need, what does the congregation need, so we can begin to launch this. So those are a few of the good things, and we're also having an associate rector, because it's been difficult on Seth Dietrich to do it all since Seth Raymond left us. So
He was a tough act to follow.
Yeah. So Kate Bird is coming in about 3 weeks, and she's from Lexington, Kentucky. And so we're looking forward to that. Bringing in more young people.
That sounds great. Let me ask you, when
Yeah.
you are both the wardens of a large church like Christ Church, and you're talking about imagining new things, whether it's a capital campaign, kind of seeing what the possibilities are, or new relationships with the community, being involved in social issues. When you're talking like on that level of the leadership, like what have you found that have been challenges, but also helpful things for framing those conversations? Because it's a hard thing to get any group to say, we've never done that before, sure, let's try. or even discerning like what it's going to look like for you to try. Because it's not just you.
Well, particularly with the capital campaign, I think everyone would be like, well, okay, an elevator seems like a good idea. We're probably the largest church in the North Shore area just did not
That
have
does not
that.
have one.
And then you start investigating, well, where would it go and what will it cost? And those are two big hurdles that are difficult to overcome. People take the built environment of that church very personally, and the footprint has not changed in 62 or 3 years.
1955.
Okay.
So it's been,
It needs to be updated.
it needed a little update, but there's people who've been there since then,
Yeah.
still going to this church.
Yeah.
And so it's a hard, it was a little bit challenging because even I, who in a leadership position and who really thought it was necessary, saw the numbers and wasn't sure we could get it done. And it was very inspiring to see when the capital campaign happened, and it seemed like such an impossible ask, that just the momentum that built from that was very inspiring. And it was very, and I don't know about surprising is the right word, but there has been some, dissent's the wrong word, but there's lots of concern and maybe not supportive necessarily of the project that was kind of biting off more than we could chew. And I think that while that element is still there, I think people who were initially skeptical really came around through that process. So that was a great thing for me personally.
And we have some amazing members, which is a godsend for us because they've stepped up on the building program. We have the Scrivener's we ran the capital campaign, but even on some of these other issues like race, we had somebody in the church who has been taking courses and approached us about doing this and what he really has a passion about. Our wellness group, these are people that have been kind of on the fringe, and when this idea began, people were really vested in it. And so we've been it's been a godsend that we've had these individuals, and it's such a diverse population that even as a warden, sometimes it's like, oh, what? I don't know about this at all. And then through the back channels of past wardens or other people in the church, they graciously step forward, or they'll give you some direction. Because sometimes when we started, like the building project, it was like, oh, this is a little overwhelming. And somebody who does this for an industry step forward and says, oh, you have to dissect this down and we put it in these smaller increments. And then it seemed quite doable, So it's really been the whole church that has gotten behind this, which has been an amazing situation.
That's the best tribute to leadership is when you're not doing it by yourself.
Yes.
Seth, what would you say that they wouldn't say for themselves? Here, Rick, I'm going to try to move this out of your way. I'm trying to get that so it's not blocking. What would you say is an aspect of their leadership that they wouldn't say to us because they wouldn't think to, but it's very much a part? There we go. We're blocking you. That's fine.
So one of the things I think that's a gift at Christ Church in terms of leadership is that there's really this sense that like rotating leadership actually is a powerful and good thing. And so, our warden, the wardens at Christ Church, actually the senior warden is only the senior warden for 1 year. But they have been the junior warden, and then they also become the finance chair the year after that. And there's this constant kind of changing of personalities, but there's also then this really interesting continuity there. Someone does 3 different roles year by year. And it really seems like the congregation is always on the lookout for like who will that next person be. And so the development of leadership is actually kind of ingrained in the culture of the place. That because that leader changes, that person's a senior warden, junior warden changes every single year. I feel the sense that it's not that there's one family who's really the people that are invested in the church. It's really everybody recognizing that like at some point like I'm probably going to be asked to be involved in this.
So when you get the leader saying, "Hey, we want to go forward with this big exciting thing," everyone's kind of already half primed to be engaged.
Yeah, and they know that it's not that one person's pet project because that person's going to be gone the next year. And it's going to be someone else's responsibility. And so they're really everybody knows like, hey, like we can actually invest ourselves because we know that this is a kind of living, breathing organization,
That's
which is really great. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
and one of the strengths of the church is we've been fortunate to have a number of new younger members, and part of the responsibility of leadership is to bring them into decision-making roles within the congregation and really participating in some of this future planning. And so it's not just a couple of families who've been there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Bell was a senior warden prior to me, and he did a whole year of felt needs, what we thought was necessary for this project, and how everybody really had an opportunity for their input if they were interested in the project, which really made it much easier for us to follow in because he already documented everything. And it makes it so there's a real openness, and we don't have this. Initially, when I started, it seemed it might be a little cliquey, but that really has dissolved.
It takes a lot of work. You need everybody. Anyone who's willing to pitch in is definitely needed.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah.
Y'all already heard my questions, but can I ask you my questions, the 3 questions? I think you answered them.
I answered them. I'm done.
You're done?
Oh, thanks.
So we introduced y'all at the beginning. I don't know if we said Christ Church Whitefish Bay, but this is the congregation where a lot of really great things are happening. And it's Mary and Rick. And y'all put 3 quick questions. Just like first thing that comes to your mind. Okay.
I'll try.
All right. So the first one, this is a quiz for me too, because it's like I've got to remember them in order now. What is one thing you wish you'd like to see Christians talk more about?
For me, I'd say nurturing compassion.
Yeah, empathy was, I think the church, in the church structure in this kind of uncertain time that we're in, has got so much to offer.
Yeah.
And so I think that empathy and trying to pull people in is essential right now.
You both say that. I've been reading a lot of Wendell Berry lately, and both like makes me feel like I get a truer sense of the world and what it is when I read him, but I also go to bed depressed. It's like not good bedtime reading unless you have the wherewithal to like go become a farmer somewhere. But I've been really struck lately by what he calls affection, and like that's the difference. But this thing that separates the work we do, whether it's in the church or outside the church, separates that from like the same work being done by robots, which is increasingly a real possibility. But this compassion, and remembering and keeping that at our center, I think is beautiful. What is one spiritual practice, but that doesn't mean you had to learn it in church, that you think Christians would do well to rediscover or explore?
No, I'm going to borrow Seth's singing together. That's my favorite part of the community singing.
He's a good one to sing with. I got to sing with him for the Eucharist, and I thought, I don't know that I'm the same gift to him that he is to me, but this is great.
And I think part of it, I don't know if this really is I go to the 8 o'clock service, which is a much smaller service.
Do they sing at that service?
No, they don't sing at that service. What we like about that service is that there's kind of a silence, and there's kind of this feeling that you're just in this very nice space where you can be who you want to be and kind of absorb that feeling of spirit that comes inside the church.
That's good. Last one. Since Karl Barth reminds us that laughter is the closest thing to the grace of God, what makes you laugh?
The first thing that popped in my head were my kids. They're 10 and 12 right now.
Oh, fun.
So they're very funny.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And I don't, we all need to, this is actually kind of an important question. I think everyone needs to laugh a lot more these days. So.
I agree, but I can't tell you right off the top of my head what makes me laugh. I have kind of a dry sense of humor, so.
That's my favorite. I remember the first church I served as an associate. It was a larger church where I was an associate starting out, and there was the communications coordinator had a daughter who got off of school early a lot of times and would spend a lot of time in the office. And one time she said, "Mom, I got Father Jonathan figured out for me. He's got a bland comedy." It's like, that's good.
Yeah.
So y'all must have really enjoyed each other's humor. Well, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
again.
Good luck with this project.
Thanks, I appreciate it.